clicked on the link from our YouTube short, thank you for coming over to our channel. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and you can check out all of the puzzles we've done in the past, and we post a new puzzle every Monday.
So this trick is based on an old trick called A Matter of Age from this book called Mathematical Magic by William Simon, which was first published in 1964. Right, in its original form, what you do is you ask somebody their age. So Grace, just pick a random number that could be someone's age.
Okay.
Yeah? Okay, Grace has thought of someone's age. Now, add 90 to that number.
Yeah.
Okay, is it a 3-digit number now?
Yeah.
Okay, so remove the first digit and see what you've got,
Okay,
yeah? Okay. Now, whatever that first digit was, add it onto the number that you've got now.
Yeah.
And what number have you got?
43.
43. So what you do at this point is you just add 9 to that number. So is the answer 52?
It is 52.
52, right. So that's the trick in its original form. So the way that works, Grace, what was the age you were thinking of again?
52.
52. So this just takes place in the person's head. They don't have to write it down. Then we said add 90. So if I add 90 onto that, we get 142. And then what happens is, when we remove the first number, what's happened now is we're subtracting 100 from this. But then that 1 is going to be added on. Now, if you think about it, if it's going to be someone's age, that's always going to be a 1. So we kind of know that, even though we haven't been told that.
That's
And
not true. That's not true at all.
Even because it might be, what do you mean?
Well, you ask a 9-year-old.
Yeah, but you don't ask a 9-year-old. This trick only works with people. You just pick somebody that you know is
Not a child.
not a child, yeah. So we've got 43. But what's happened is from our original number, we've added 90, but then we've subtracted 100. So now the number should be 10 less than what we started with, but then we've added the 1, which means to get back to our starting point, we have to just add 9. So that's how the basic trick works as it's presented in the original book. Right, so the way we wanted to extend this trick was to make it work with 3-digit numbers. So I asked Grace to think of a 3-digit number, and what was it you chose?
326.
326, right. So we wanted to keep the method basically the same as in the book. We didn't want to change it completely. So I said to Grace, add 90 to that number. So
416.
that makes 416, yeah. And then remove the first digit, which in this case is a 4, and then take that first digit and add it onto the 16 here, which made 20. And so from that, you can work out what the last 2 digits of this number are, as long as you know this is 4, because what we've done here is we've added 90. So obviously if we add 100, for example, to 326, we're going to end up with 426, which has the same 2 digits at the end. So we've added 90, we've added 4. What we've got to do is add whatever's left to make it up to 100, which if you know this is 4, you know you've got to add 6. So what I did was I added 6 onto the 20 to make the 26. But then the problem is, how do you find out that this is a 4? How do you find out what the first digit is? So we had to think about that.
So how did you know I added 4?
Right, so we knew that, I knew that you added 4, remember, because I knew that the first digit was 3. Now, what you need is a way, if you're going to do this, of finding out what the first digit is. And I had a conversation with a friend of mine who's a magician to try and figure out what the best way to do that might be. And we came up with a couple of ideas. There doesn't really seem to be a mathematical way of finding out what they've got. So one of the things that could be this week's puzzle is that you could have a think and see if you can improve on this method, see if you can come up with something else. The method that we came up with to find out that that number started with a 3 was just to basically get Grace to tell me that it started with a 3. This is like a very typical sort of magic way of doing things. So I said to Grace, think of a 3-digit number, and she said,
300.
and I said, stop there, right? Just stop, just get them to tell you the start of the number. You stop them, make it sound like you've totally changed your mind, because what the brain does, if it thinks there's been a mistake, it'll sort of
rewrite it.
Yeah, it'll erase that from your memory, sometimes, hopefully. So she said 300, and I said, no, stop, don't tell me what the number is. I'm going to try and work out what the number is. But I just remember that it started with 3. So once I got the 26, I knew it was 326.
So once you add the 90, you know it's going to be 4
Yeah.
at the beginning here. So you add 4 at the end.
Yeah, so that's right. Yeah, so because I knew it was 3, I knew that Grace was going to have a 3-digit number starting with 4 when she added the 90.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there was another way that it could work. You could, if you think, I don't know if I'm going to interrupt them at the right time, you could say to them, pick a number between 1 and 10, and say Grace said 3, and I said, hang on, right, no, let's not do that. Let's add another 2 digits to the end. Let's make it a 3-digit number, and then you've got, it's going to be a 3-digit number starting with 3. That could work.
It's not quite as magical.
It's not quite as magical, it's not quite as good. That was, but that was our second idea. So the question for you is, can you think of a better way that might eliminate that, the need for that little bit of cheating?
And could you extend the trick? So we extended it to 3 digits. Could you extend it beyond this?
Or could you extend it down to
A 9-year-old?
Yeah, if you were doing magic at a children's party and there was a children's maths party.
So you start with a 1-digit number.
Yeah, start with a 1-digit number. How can we extend this? How can we change it? How can we improve it? That's this week's puzzle.
And don't forget to subscribe to our channel and like this video.